Welcome to Free Kick na Audibets. My name is Sean Osimbo. This is a place we'll be talking about definitely football from your favorite leagues across the world, the English Premier League, the Spanish league, that is the La Liga. We'll talk about the Serie A, and what a way to start on definitely how we know Kenyans love watching the English Premier League. So the first episode, which is brought to you by Audibets, will be featuring some English Premier League games. So don't forget, Audibets is the biggest sponsor of the national team, that is Harambee Stars, and also, you know, they have the biggest jackpot in the country, sitting at 105 million Kenyan shillings. So get on your phone and, you know, win some money. So today we'll be talking about the English Premier League, what happened this past weekend, and I'm here with Greg Muleni, a sports analyst, and also Onesmus Kanmande, the former Mother United player. Karibuni sana. You guys are ready? The
Very
English
much.
Premier League is back after the international break.
People missed it.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. But the AFCON was interesting, and you know, the qualifiers and the Euros. But yes, I know the English Premier League in Kenya is such a big deal.
Yeah, such a big deal because you look at the following, the 6 major clubs in England, everyone follows them religiously, and it's something that shows you the love for the game, especially how it's well packaged, how familiar it has become to the households, and it's something that has really made it a household name in the league. Well, you find people over the weekend yearning to know the fixtures, the results, who to watch, things like that, where to place their money, and that's why we are talking about it.
Yes, Onesmus, they say we have more Arsenal supporters in Kenya than Mother United supporters in Kenya. Is that true?
That's quite controversial, I'd say. But it's a fact, you know, the way you brand things, the way they are carried all over the world really pays off. That's what Premier League have been doing for the longest time. And, you know, plus the money that is involved. And it's not just in East Africa, it's all over the world. The Premier League is watched all over the world.
Yes. Gentlemen, let's now get down to business, and we have to talk about the major games. And I think the best way to start this is the first match after the international break. That is Chelsea losing to West Brom. You know, they come in with their unbeaten record. You know, they're looking forward to this. You know, West Brom, second worst team in the league, and boom, at home.
It's the Premier League. Everyone can beat anyone. That's it. But again, there is this funny thing about the early kickoff. Normally, the bigger team doesn't win the early kickoff. That always happens. And it's interesting because at 1-0 you thought Chelsea were cruising. They were playing very well. And then Silva happened. I thought he should have been sent off for the first tackle because that's they call it doxo, denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity. That should have been a straight red, but he stayed on. Still, unasemanga siku ya nyani kufa. It didn't take too long. In the 32nd minute, he fouled again. He got a red card. Then Pereira happened to score that wonderful goal. I thought that was a beautiful goal. You can say Mendy was off the position, but naturally nowadays when the team is pressing high, even the goalkeeper is encouraged just to move as close to the defense so that you can be a keeper sweeper per se. You can't take anything away from that goal. It was just a wonderful lob.
Yes, and so sad about Thiago Silva, you know, just coming back from injury, you're looking forward, you don't even last more than 29 minutes on the pitch back there. And then I think it became worse for Chelsea last night after that win with West Ham. Now, you know, the top 4 race is so tight this time round. It's very tight. And you know, you have all these teams trying to get their Spurs, Liverpool, and then now West Ham.
I think Chelsea have also been placed in a very precarious position. You look at how the results went over the weekend. Manchester United winning, Liverpool winning, and then West Ham winning. Tottenham dropping the points. Then it became very tricky because the race for the top 4 has become very interesting. And like, let's say a month ago, where you could predict that maybe Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Leicester were cruising to finishing in the top 4. Right now, up to 7th, everyone still has a chance. You look at the point gap is very minimal, and anyone who sleeps in the next 8 or 7 matches, then it's going to be very tough for them. And for Chelsea, being hit for 5 by Sam Allardyce, who whose team I can say is one of the weakest in the league.
Yeah.
I think it also mastered whatever we've been seeing throughout the many seasons we've had. Sam Allardyce is the master of surviving. Maybe this is just the renaissance of that. We might be seeing that Sam Allardyce trying to do something miraculous to make sure that West Brom stay in the league. So we never know, but that was a shocking result, if I can still recall. 5-2 at Stamford Bridge.
And to be honest, I thought for the first time I saw the naivety of Tuchel. When Thiago was sent off, he was playing with two wing backs, right? Rick James was playing as a right wing back, and you have Alonso, right? Then he decides to take off Hakim Ziyech and bring in another central defender. For me, I was a little bit confused because I thought you would have just gotten back into a back four, have Rudiger and Christensen play in the central defense, then Rick James as a right back, and Alonso plays as a left back. The substitute really confused the players. That's when I think Sam Allardyce started smelling the blood. He thought like Chelsea now want to defend the one goal they have. So if we get one, then we get the edge. But again, even if you are relegated and you get these good results going with you, it's good because you get yourself into the championship with the players with a lot of confidence. It's not like they have signed any new players. It's the same team they had in the championship. And talking about playing Champions League next season, I think now West Ham are real contenders because they play Leicester. The only big teams they are playing is Leicester, and again they play Chelsea towards the end of the season. And if I were Tuchel, I'd look at the Champions League and feel that's where the opportunity lies, because their route to the final seems a little bit easier. It's never easy in the Champions League, but I'm just saying if you look at the route they need to use to the Champions League final, I'd really be smiling and really working towards it.
But then you won't write off Porto. They've been consistent in this Champions League at this stage for the last 5 seasons.
I'm not trying to read them off. I'm just saying that you're looking at the route they were given. It's a much more easier route compared to what they would have had. Like you look at Liverpool, either Liverpool or Madrid. The route they are going through will be much more tougher than the other route, because now he has the opportunity to win the Champions League and as well compete for the FA Cup.
Yeah, so what next for Chelsea? Do you think they can start another unbeaten streak at this point?
It's quite tough to tell because you look at the tail end of business, everyone wants the points. Everyone will try to make sure that they finish off in style so that when they go for the pre-seasons and the Euros and all those other competitions, then they're in a better shape, because if you end the league in a high, it gives you a motivation that maybe in the 2021-22 seasons things will come out better. And for Chelsea, right now, they've just exposed themselves to the Wolves. I'm not talking about Wolves. Yeah, but right now, everyone knows that Chelsea is in a very vulnerable position. But I know Tuchel is one manager who will always come up with solutions. He's done that at PSG. He's led them to the Champions League finals. He knows what to do. He has the right kind of players. But then I can always say that how they respond in their next match will matter more, because if they drop more points and the other teams are catching up, then it will be very difficult for them. And who knows, it will not be another Jogo Bonito for them.
So the question is, would you rather beat West Brom in the Premier League and lose to Porto? That's the biggest question, because I feel now after that loss, which to a good extent the likes of Zuma contributed to the scoreline. They were quite leggy, too slow to read situations.
They said they're a bit leggy and too slow because, Chelsea were actually taking part in the international matches compared to West Brom, who are, if you look at the team, most of them are still...
That's vague.
That's what the fans are saying, but it's a bit vague.
Yeah.
That actually West Brom are training for Chelsea.
But before the match, if you listen to Kel give his interview, he said he's just looking at the work to rest ratio. That's normally what they do most of the times. And he thought the players he put out were the best for that match. So he has no hiding place.
But you look at the guys like Silva, has not been involved in international duty. Then you look at the whole squad. Zuma didn't play, did he?
Yeah, he's the one who he was playing a back three.
No, I'm saying in the international.
No, he played
for France. I think it was against Ukraine. Yeah, but then it doesn't even matter because you look at other teams. Manchester United, they had players on international duty. Manchester City had players on international duty. Liverpool had some players in international duty. So I don't think that's an enough excuse to try and justify a loss. I just think that West Ham, they also did the same to Liverpool.
Yeah.
These are so Allardyce knows how to play against these sides that are rather fancied or have players.
Against big teams, he's known for going deep when it comes to.
And
tactics.
I know Klopp hates him.
So much.
But the beauty is, after you concede 5 against a small team, and quote unquote small, let me not demean them that
Second
much.
worst team in
The thing is, you go back to basics. That's definitely what they do against Porto, and you can expect a big result from that one.
We are looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. Any predictions, gentlemen, on that coming Champions League match, Porto versus Chelsea?
I believe that Porto have the edge. Porto, with the experience they have beautiful players. Marega is super player, but then they'll capitalize on the slip by Chelsea. I think it can either end in a draw or Porto will win.
And Esmas? He's smiling there. I'm I want to hear what he's saying. Yes.
It's a no-brainer for me. I think this is a sure bet that it's going to end in a no goal. I don't think Porto will be given any goal.
Sure bet.
Because Tuchel has had this habit where he normally concedes 1 goal or 2, then goes for 5 or 6 games without conceding. So expect a no goal. I don't see Porto scoring that one.
Yes, I will hold you gentlemen to that on the next episode. Yes.
Please do.
Yes, so let's talk about another match that was actually booming and everywhere in Kenya, and we have so many Arsenal fans in Kenya more than Liverpool. We can admit to that. I know Greg is a Liverpool fan.
Definitely.
Yes. So Liverpool beating Arsenal 3-0. Did you see that coming? Let's start with you, Onesmus.
I think it's something that was meant to happen. Wherever a big team goes into a bad run, they'll definitely at one point come back to it. Yeah. And when they are given the opportunity, they don't stop. You could see the advantage of having the right players playing in the rightful positions where they like playing most. Most people are talking about Jota being the man of the match and stuff, but for me it was Fabinho. Fabinho is what Liverpool needed in that midfield for quite a long time. When they didn't have the central defenders, he sat in there quietly, played very well. He went about his duties in every other match. But then he's given the opportunity now after Kovac was signed. Now he can play in midfield, and that really changed the way Liverpool set up. Because Arsenal were trying to break the first line of defense. Which for me is what Arteta dwells on. He tries to play from defense, then break that forward 3. Because once you break the forward 3 using 3 players, it means now it's a 7v5 kind of situation, right? Because the wing backs for Liverpool are always
on the run.
So when you break that defense, the first lane of press, it means now you have 7 players playing against 5 on the opponent. Yeah. And for this one, because of the genius of Fabinho and the way he commands guys who are in front of him, we didn't see any of those situations. And the most frustrating bit is when Arsenal failed to turn up for these big games. It's not the first time, probably won't be the last one. 2 shots on goal is not just good enough against Liverpool, a team that is known to attack. You should get more chances. You should know how to get into that last third. And it's really frustrating because you concede a header to the shortest person on the pitch. And it's a similar goal Arsenal considered against a big opponent. Because against Man City, it was the same goal that was scored. Because the shortest person runs between the tallest defenders and gets that header. Some of these things are just basics. If you don't do the basics in football, there's no way you expect a result.
Amazing. And we also, before we talk about Arteta's apology and Aubameyang, just, everyone bashing right now Aubameyang and not him stepping up for this team, that, he's £350,000 a week. Wow, that's a lot of money. Then I can't even convert it into Kenyan shillings. So much money. But let's talk about Liverpool's record away from home, which has been amazing compared to their home record. Greg, what's about that?
6 wins away. And 0 at home. That's a staggering statistic. It's the fortress. After 63 games unbeaten, then Burnley comes to spoil the party. Then all of a sudden you can't win anything for all that time. It's something that Klopp must be scratching his head even right now, thinking that what am I supposed to do apart from the Champions League?
Or is it the fans? They're missing the fans.
Thiago said that he really would have loved to play with the fans on the pitch. And I think they really miss the fans. And maybe they should start doing what they did against Chelsea when they won 5-3 in the last game of the season at Anfield, when they having those firecrackers outside. that could have really sparked maybe the players to believe that the Kop was around. But then you look at how they've been performing away. I think there's a little bit of zero pressure when they're playing away. And then when they come at home, I think they really want to impress us. But as Onesmus has said, when you have the Samba beat in midfield, then it becomes easy for you. Thiago and Fabinho, they've been immense in the last few games they played together in that position, and it gives them the freedom to express themselves. Fabinho is a good tackler, is a good reader of the game, is a good passer of the ball. You could see his third goal, they're setting up Salah's third goal, second goal for them of the match. I think it was the second goal of the match. That is the Fabinho you want to know. But you see, the tackles he used to make in defense, those are not tackles that he's supposed to make inside the box. And you could see there was a really big difference. He does that higher on the pitch, which makes it easier for him to recover. But when he does that in the box, it's someone who likes sliding, and then, but you see when he does that in the box, it becomes harder for him to recover. And that's where Liverpool were getting a stick. And it's something that Klopp realized late. If he could have trusted someone like Nat Phillips a long time ago, it could have been easier for him. Because you look at that boy right now, he's playing like a regular. He's gotten run in games, and he's improved. He's faster. He's good in the air. Something that Liverpool really missed, and it gives them hope for the future. Who knows what will happen afterwards? Right now, Klopp will be like, let's build on this result against Arsenal. And if I go back to Arsenal, I think Arsenal still have problems because they're depending on very young guys to try and get in the results. Aubameyang against Liverpool was just awful. I can't count.
I know.
Someone was saying, it's not even his performance that was depressing them, it's the hairstyle.
They called him Travis Scott.
Someone called him a big league, but wow. So I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Because as a captain, you're supposed to inspire your people. Try to do something extraordinary. Even if you don't back around and shouting at your players the way Henderson does. Try to do something Gerrard or who Vieira was doing. Lead by example. Pick those balls. Try make those runs.
But even before the international break, when we had the incidences of him running late, him leaving early, I think that you must can have some.
It's been a problematic season for him, not just on the pitch, even at home. There was a time he was given a break because of the mother. So so many things come into play for these players.
It's a mental game.
It's you're only as good as your mental state. So if your mental state is not there, because he came back from that incident, came back, scored a hat-trick, then all of a sudden things went down again. Then there was that London derby where the team performed without him. So he's a man under pressure, both from the fans and even from his own manager. And then there's also the pressure of age. He's so used to scoring these 20-something goals. So this is the first season you want to get to that, and you have to feel for him.
And but then he performed really well in the international break, scoring the goals that took his team to the Cup of Nations. So I think he just needs that mental balance, which is really, really lacking at the moment.
How hard is it Arteta to take the armband and give it to someone else for this period of time? Which I know will be very controversial also, but
it's a little bit difficult at the moment,
We just
because
a few
you look,
games away from the season wrapping up.
you
And
know,
this is the time that matters. Europa League, Champions League, looking for those spots.
you're looking at Arsenal, and you feel that the only other leaders are Xhaka. Xhaka was the captain. He was stripped off, so the possibility of him getting the armband again is quite peripheral. But then you're also looking at the other person who can lead that team. It's David Luiz. David Luiz is towards the end of his career, so you'd rather just keep it with him. Maybe because the assistant now is Lacazette, and Lacazette, no one is sure
if he'll stay there next season.
Stay next season, because he hasn't been getting a lot of game time. Maybe it's about time you just decide to give it to the young boy, Saka, the same way they did with Fabregas.
Yes.
But my main worry is Saka has been the best player for Arsenal. He's only 19, and then we have that history of Fabregas. So he played 50 games in one season, and he couldn't play anymore because his legs were gone. So you just have to be economical with how you utilize Saka. But now it's so good and so instrumental in the team, such that you're always conflicted of what to do with him. So at the moment he's nursing a knee injury, and that's not the kind of medical report you want when you're chasing for. You can't imagine.
Let's
just imagine Arsenal are chasing a top 8 finish. That's quite frustrating.
And as it looks right now, it's quite difficult because you look at the teams around. Leeds is chasing for the top 8 finish. Or Aston Villa is there. West Ham is there. Liverpool is there. Tottenham is there.
West Ham are even maybe higher.
Na ile shida kubwa kuwa when you are chasing for these positions, you win,
and the
direct opponent wins. You drop points, and they win.
And you see, like Aston Villa right now at 29, that is they have a game in hand, and you can see they're in a very, 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 very good form.
And Grealish is coming.
Grealish is coming back. Against Fulham, I thought for a moment Aston Villa were losing. Then checking on live score again, I saw it was 21 now.
It was the equalizer went in the 79th minute.
Yes.
Then the winning goal in the 84th, and both were scored by Trezeguet, who couldn't do anything in Kasarani.
But then it reminds me, the Trezeguet and Salah, whatever they did at Kasarani, you could see it was a complete opposite of what they're doing at the club. So maybe the loyalty might have been coming in.
But it's like they say in Africa, we don't give people spaces. But about to go up or see what.
So yes, as we just wrap up that, Arsenal fans they didn't want to accept Arteta's apology. What do you think about that? He came out, he took blame. He said he knows his side is weak. He knows he got some of the tactics wrong. But guys were like, you need to be shown the door.
I think
But at
Arteta,
least he brought a trophy. He has done something, 2 trophies.
Trophies or not trophies, but what matters is the consistency and the results you put in place. If I can compare Arteta and Unai Emery and Arsene Wenger, Arteta's return has been so bad. I think it's around 36%.
Yeah.
Is it 36? I think it's.
If you go by the current season, where he had the window to do something about it, it's 12 wins, 12 losses, and 6 draws.
So he deserves to be where he is. And it's not really what everyone thinks about Arsenal, because we believe that when we grew up, it was Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Those were the top teams right now. And then we added Man City in the fold. Then Tottenham, I really don't count them as a top side, because
Tottenham
Tottenham is just Tottenham.
Leicester came in the fold. So we started talking about the big 6. Arsenal has gone now to the
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Which is sad.
Very sad.
Yeah, it's sad, but it also shows how Arsenal is mighty, because people are still talking about Arsenal, a team that is 10th. And for Arteta, to be honest, you have to feel for him. He doesn't have the budget. That's number 1. Then number 2, whatever happens to him, whether he's fired or whatever, he's assured of another big team, because he has that angle, and he has the luck and the looks to be a top manager.
But then maybe Onesimus has just talked about Arsenal being talked about as a big team. Can remind you that Blackburn was a big team, Newcastle was a big team. If you don't invest properly and then put in proper results, people will be talking like the Newcastle of the mid-90s.
So 20 years from now, it will be a different story.
I think it's high time they decided maybe change on the direct.
So it's a whole problem. It's a whole huge problem.
But
you can't
Liverpool,
just put it on Arteta
Liverpool
or
were
the
there.
tactics.
Liverpool
No,
were
the
there, but
tactics. You have to talk about the tactics because you feel that, for you to win a game as a manager, you have to have a strategy, then communicate the strategy to the players, then make the players implement it. So if you miss any of those 3 steps, you get a 3-0 down. You get beaten 3-0 because you're trying to place a Ceballos in the Xhaka role, and clearly it wasn't working. You bring in El Neni, still continue the same.
And they weren't even moving.
Yeah,
they were playing in a very straight line. Ceballos, Partey, and who was that? There were 3.
Because naturally, if you are playing 2 in midfield and they need to get you out of those tight spots, one has to receive the ball on a half turn. So if one is receiving, looking at the defense, the other one must be ready to receive the ball and progress it.
Yes.
So in the absence of progression, and when you're playing a high press like Liverpool were playing, you have to make the play predictable. And that's what Liverpool did so well in that match. They ensured that the play is predictable, so the press was always working. They won the ball almost 7 times in the final third. And I think the 3-0 should not surprise anyone. I thought that could have ended even in a 5-0.
Yes, and now we have to move on to the other match, Manchester United's comeback against Brighton, ending 2-1. I was there celebrating when they were 1-0 down. And then later on I was like, oh wow. Yeah, because but one thing before we just get into it, there's all the time when I'm watching the Man United games, I see Ole out. But then on the table, they actually second place. At the end of the day, they still manage to sneak. They're still there. They're still holding tight. Of course, they definitely. I think right now no one can catch Man City unless Man City try and lose some 3 or 4 games. But
which won't happen.
And
I'll be happy if Manchester United want to win anything this season.
But they only need 11 points to clinch the league, which I think in the next 4 matches they will achieve.
Yeah.
But for Manchester United, I tweeted something about an event. I know my director Hezbon will be like, what are you talking about? Is this the same Manchester United that had players recalled to the pitch, back to the pitch to come and take a penalty? It was against Brighton. That was the first leg of this season. The first leg.
The 4-2-1.
The 4-2-1, yeah. But then I think Brighton is a good side because they gave Manchester United a good run for their money. But then there's one, Bruno Fernandes. He's been immaculate this season. He's unlocked the defenses that have proved to be a hard nut to crack, and it's something that has given Manchester an edge over so many teams, and that's why they're in the 2nd position. It reminds me of the 2013-14 Luis
Just
Suarez.
a quick one, yes. Before we continue, who's the best Portuguese player in the Premier League right now?
Diego Jota.
That's what I said. I think it's Jota. But Manchester United fans will say
12 goals in 12 starts.
I'm the only one who can be objective about it. And I think stats don't lie.
Yeah, stats don't.
Jota is quite good, but to be honest, you have to look at it objectively.
Okay, Fernandes.
Bruno
work rate
for the points Manchester have, I think he has contributed more than 40% of those points. And it's not just even for country. Wherever he plays, he has this ability to change games. Jota, I think there is
3 months out. 12 goals in 12 matches, that's staggering. It's something that you can just not take away from him.
But he plays in a very attacking role. Bruno operates from deep.
Yeah.
Bruno has the assets. Maybe you can just say that Jota doesn't take penalties. And Liverpool don't get as many as, because I thought in the first half there was that incident of Maguire.
And,
if it was on the other side,
I'm sure that
just feel that
definitely
would have been
the VAR
another Bruno goal.
Okay, Welbeck scoring against his former club. He loves doing that.
He loves doing that, but you see, they say nowadays you don't play for the burden. There are no loyalties. You could see him celebrate. Yeah. But then it again exposed Manchester United's back four in the Lindelof and Maguire. For Welbeck to come and sneak in between them, that is very, very suspect, and it's we've seen that happen for Manchester United, especially at Old Trafford. It's not something that I think that is the weakness Ole Gunnar has, in that he's not found the right combination in defense, in that he trusts these guys so much that they barely keep a clean sheet.
I think the central defense pairing has been quite formidable for them. There was a time they were not conceded goals, but to be honest, that goal you have to give credit to Maupe for that delivery. It was a perfect delivery, but then you're only as good as your reaction. So after the first header, I thought Maguire and Lindelof
should have reacted.
They were too slow to react, and that's how he got the second chance to go at it.
Yeah.
So it's the reaction that failed them, other than the action itself of keeping that very long space between them. The two of them.
The space was too wide. And
yeah.
It's something we can always. But then something I noticed is Dean Henderson.
The drama started before the match.
Yes.
Chosen over.
Yeah, but then the cabbage ants again were exposed in that he could not hold on to the ball. And then it poses questions, is he better than David De Gea? Something that we really have to discuss over and over again. He's done well in the last few matches he started between the posts, but then if you need someone who has command.
But his distribution...
Do you think they want to cash him out, I think?
Maybe they're cashing out on De Gea.
Yeah.
You see, when you look at De Gea, players are also like companies. They want to make profits. He's only one transfer. He's only one more signature away from retirement. So he needs, the agent might be looking at other options, so that it's always the sign-on fee that makes this guy at least akwesao after playing career yake. So you look at him and feel that it's about time. It's about time, honestly, because there's so much pressure on him, more so on his distribution. And nowadays all managers dwell on the distribution of the goalkeeper, and Henderson is quite good. I've seen him win a Manchester derby for them through his distribution.
Yeah. And then you have, let's talk about the two goals for Manchester United, that is with Rashford and Greenwood also coming in and just scoring for them. And also just, Greenwood has been
blowing hot and cold.
Oh yeah, hot and cold.
Yeah, I think too much hype after his first very good season last time. But I think he's maturing right now, because keeping that level of concentration to the latter stages of a match for such a young man, it's not easy. But Rashford, as much as he's scoring goals, he's wasting many. If I can say, he's not really been.
He's not economical the chances he gets.
Yes. Yeah. And then he's quite selfish. I don't know, because Cavani is also playing or something, because he wants to shine.
Someone said Cavani was just there for Olivier.
Because you look at Rashford's play when Cavani is in the pitch, it's not the same the way he's not there. Because right now, when Cavani is not there, you find that Rashford will try to string those passes with Martial. Bad luck, Martial is not going to be there for the rest of the season. But then you find that they play better. Rashford plays better with Martial around him. But when Cavani is there, then I don't know whether it's the language barrier or it's the case of one wants to outshine the other one. So, but then Rashford, to me, can do better for Manchester United. Yeah, he needs to.
He's always at the right position, at the right time, does his dribbles, knows how to score these goals. But now the problem is, he doesn't make the decision at the right time. Most of the times, when he's supposed to take the shot, he doesn't. When he's supposed to pass, he takes a shot. And then so his decision making is what needs to improve. Once he improves that, he'll be okay. About Greenwood, I think he's a good player apart from the scandal. That scandal they had is what really affected him up to now. And you just hope that these good players and young players don't get themselves involved in so many of these off media, because they affect you and your mentality and your development as well, because you expected him to make a step forward this season, which he hasn't. But he can make merry towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and that reminds me of this guy, Jordan Ibe. Ibe had a very brilliant career, but then off the scandals, then it happens.
So we will have definitely to tell waekezaji where to put their money on Thursday. Manchester United versus Granada in the Europa League.
It's a tricky affair, because
with OD bets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spanish clubs are very, very tricky to play against. I remember one time Manchester United was playing Atletico Bilbao in the, I think it was in the same stage of the Europa League. Everyone was like, Manchester United is going to win, and then they got hooped away, beaten at home. But then anyway, I'll give Manchester United a win on this one. Yeah.
Yes.
For me, it's not the semi-final. Ingekuwa semi-final ningesema mweke Granada because Ole Gunnar can't win semi-finals.
Yes.
So, but for this one, ingia pale Odi, weke it over 2.5.
Wow.
Yes. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Our very good analysts, Greg Mulemi and Onesmus Kamande. This has been so much fun. Free kick with OddiBets. As you know, OddiBets have the biggest jackpot in the country right now, sitting at 105 million Kenyan shillings. And also, OddiBets are the biggest supporter of the Kenya national team, Harambee Stars. So that was episode 1. Yay! Thank you so much for everything. I was your host, Sean Osimbo. Have a lovely week.